Almost forgot.
Oh, am I going to war or a circus?
What'd you expect? Black leather?
Is X-Men 97 part of the MCU? X-Men 97, which premiered in March 2024, was a continuation of the acclaimed animated series from the 1990s. It brought back the original voice cast and maintained the classic style of animation, with rumors suggesting that it's part of the MCU. Suppose you were somebody who has never seen the original X-Men 97. In that case, you are sure to relate to the characters and the plot of the new X-Men 97 that premiered this year, which is in fact a continuation and inspiration from the original animated series. Who are the characters in X-Men 97 Season 1? If you remember, in the 90s animated series, Professor X's group of mutants came back to life as they dealt with a society that was still getting used to their presence. But here in Season 1, which premiered in 2024, all are under the command of the Adamant Cyclops. The group includes well-known characters such as Jean Grey and the Phoenix Force, the weather-wielding Storm, the devoted Wolverine, and the laser-eyed Rogue. When Jubilee reappears, she is a young lady with a new role rather than a sidekick. One of the X-Men's founding psychic leaders, Professor X, continues to be a mentor. Support is provided by well-known allies like Moira McTaggart, a scientist who is pro-mutant, and Forge, a technical wizard. Well-known enemies such as Magneto, the magician of magnetism, makes a comeback and struggle with the issues of mutant rights. Another threat is Mystique, the shape-shifting mutant with a questionable moral compass. Bolivar Trask, the inventor of the Sentinel robots intended to wipe out mutants, is among the new opponents that surface in the new series in 2024. Being a viewer, you know that a television show's plot is what draws viewers in and encourages them to keep watching it. The storyline of X-Men 97 actually starts as a continuation of the series from the 1990s. What exactly is the plot of Season 1 in X-Men 97? X-Men picks up a year after all the events that have passed since the events of the first X-Men, the animated series, when X-Men 97 begins. The absence of Professor Charles Xavier, who was thought to be dead following an attempted murder, creates a vacuum in the mutant rights movement. Now that the UN officially sanctions them, the X-Men find it difficult to adjust. Their first task is to save Roberto da Costa, a young mutant from the Friends of Humanity, an organization that opposes mutants. They set out to find Bolivar Trask, the man behind the lethal Sentinel robots, as a result. Accompanied by Jean Grey, whose psychic powers have been enhanced by Cerebro, they apprehend Trask and demolish a concealed Sentinel establishment. But it's a bittersweet victory anyway. In order to raise their child safely, Cyclops and a pregnant Jean decides to part ways with the X-Men. This is accompanied by a startling discovery. Magneto, Xavier's previous enemy, shows up bearing a bombshell. Magneto received control of the X-Men and his mutant training facility from Xavier as a bequest in his final will. The crew becomes tense as a result of this unexpected development. Jean and Cyclops continue to have no mistrust, and Rogue is sympathetic to Magneto's renewed dedication to safeguarding both humans and mutants. The finale of Season 1 of X-Men 97 premiered a few days ago, and there have been many doubts about the plot and the conclusion of the final episode. The funny thing is that it has thrown open many Easter eggs and was filled with many surprise cameos. Have you seen the finale episode, and how did you feel about the ending? X-Men 97's first season finale drops a lot of bombs on viewers, leaving them on a cliffhanger that primes them for an exciting second season. If you notice, in the final episode, Apocalypse reappears as a result of Bastion's timeline-spanning manipulations rather than a standalone antagonist. The X-Men are now faced with dealing with several incarnations of their adversary, which makes for a challenging situation. The conflict between Magneto and Xavier becomes increasingly intense. Despite Xavier's best efforts to reason with Magneto, the master of magnetism is steadfast in his belief in mutant domination. Apocalypse and the X-Men battle on Asteroid M. The space station blows up right when things look really bad, but there's a twist to it. Instead of being destroyed, the X-Men and Magneto spread out over time. The consequences are severe. The majority of the X-Men, including Wolverine, Storm, and Rogue, ended up landing in ancient Egypt 5,000 years in the past. What a shock to the viewers! Heroes like Spider-Man and Iron Man and the Fantastic Four make cameo appearances in the climax, which is jam-packed with Easter eggs and cameos. Many mysteries from the ending encourage speculation about potential storylines for the future. The good news is here if you were hoping for it. X-Men 97's creators intend to create a second season. Fans of X-Men 97 are thrilled about the news of the second season, and there have been various reports regarding potential narrative points. The number of new characters will appear and whether or not returning characters will return. What are your thoughts on this? Character development is a wonderful opportunity that Season 2 offers. Cyclops might buckle under the weight of duty, Jean Grey might wrestle with leadership, and Rogue might face her identity dilemma. The examination of tolerance and living between mutants and humans, a topic that is continuously relevant in the X-Men universe, may serve as the overall theme. The second season of X-Men 97 seems to be an amazing roller coaster. The season might be both emotionally stirring and action-packed, with Wolverine and Magneto's psychological conflicts and the appearance of a powerful psychic danger in Onslaught. Fans will be anticipating the next installment of the animated X-Men series with great anticipation due to the introduction of new characters, the examination of complex topics, and the potential for future storylines. This is merely an overview of what's possible. With Marvel's creative team in charge, Season 2 may go in fascinating and surprising ways that will have a long-lasting effect on the X-Men universe. Recently, two directors of X-Men 97 Season 1 and Kevin Feige, president of Marvel Studios, gave serious thought to merging the X-Men 97 series into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They had mentioned discussing taking place on the subject. Do you want X-Men 97 to be part of the MCU? Emi Yonemura, the director of X-Men 97 Episodes 3 and 5, stated in an interview with Inverse that Kevin Feige had considered incorporating the animated revival into the MCU from the beginning. We know that Kevin Feige has always considered the question of whether they should be included in the MCU. Should we not incorporate this into the MCU? Emi also added that the discussions are still ongoing and they have come up with a smart plan for that. Jake Castorena, the head director and supervising producer, went on to say that he was happy X-Men 97 was kept apart from the MCU, and that he loved how the public accepted the many Marvel Studios takes on the X-Men. If you are a fan of X-Men, then you must have noticed how Marvel Studios is going all out on X-Men. Marvel Studios moved quickly to include the adored mutants in the MCU after regaining the rights to the X-Men in 2019. If you remember, Patrick Stewart's Professor Charles Xavier had made a debut in 2022's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Then the comics changed to show that the title character of the Disney Plus series, Ms. Marvel, was a mutant, and Namor was introduced as one of the first mutants in history in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. The Marvels was the most recent MCU film to have mutants. Kelsey Grammer's Beast and Lashana Lynch's Binary had a post-credit sequence. Despite Marvel Studios' decision to exclude X-Men 97 from the MCU canon, the animation series still appears to be part of the larger universe. If you remember, just before the release of Season 1, there were a lot of rumors about Hugh Jackman giving voice to Wolverine. And now fans are excited again after rumors have come in that Hugh Jackman will be part of X-Men 97 Season 2. Do you think Hugh Jackman is actually part of the series? Hugh Jackman will voice No Wolverine in X-Men 97 too. Although Hugh Jackman is best known for playing Wolverine in real action, X-Men 97 is an animated series with a distinct voice cast. Cal Dodd provided the voice of Wolverine in the first season. Furthermore, there is no sign that Jackman will play any other role. The only possibility for Hugh Jackman to join the MCU is with the new movie Deadpool and Wolverine. The X-Men will be added to the MCU with the release of Deadpool and Wolverine, which stars Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds as title characters who are anticipated to enter the Hollow timeline at the film's conclusion. Do you think the MCU universe will expand if X-Men 97 becomes part of it? Do share your thoughts on this in the comments section. For more interesting stories and updates, subscribe to our channel and do not forget to press the bell icon for notifications. Goodbye!